Now then, everybody. So it's the calm after the storm that's been last weekend. So all the after-event buzz has died down a little bit. So scouring Facebook and stuff for photographs and all the rest of it. But there's some quite cool ones actually. I'll stick them up on the screen now for you. I'll just do a little review of how the car was and last weekend in general. It's pretty surprised, put it that way. So once you bolt a load of new stuff onto a car, it's the first few stages were just in the back of my mind about all those arms and stuff that I've made. So took it a little bit steady, and I haven't been in the car for 2 or 3 years anyway, so take it a bit steady anyway until you just get back into used to the things. And with the seat position change, so that's different again, new seats, new everything. So but no, car felt good, went alright, with minimal issues. So just before the rally there's some brake lines and stuff that needed like tightening up and stuff like that, so we bled the brake just before the event. A lot better pedal after that, so we were looking for like a little issue that we've had for a while, and so it was nice to find that before first stage. But yeah, no, it ran faultless really. Friday night there was a little bit of rain, but we just kept them slicks on and got round nice and tidy. And then Saturday morning at daylight, it's a different ball game, isn't it? So you can see where you're going. But difficult to judge the braking because I've not been in the car for quite a while. So when you come to the chicanes and stuff, it's hard to sort of like know when to, you know, get on the brakes and stuff. So I'm trying to leave it at the last minute as possible. But it's all a daring game, isn't it? But especially with sand on tyres from the prompt. So, but we're just here in Steve's garden, and we've got Rhonda in the garage. So we're just sorting out a few things on her after the event. So like I said, there's nothing physically wrong on the car. So, you know, all the hours and stuff and late nights and early mornings that you do prep work wise, it all paid off, which was quite nice. I've checked all the brake pads and all the suspension, done a spanner check on everything, and that's been all alright. So the only thing that did come loose on the rally is the rear anti-roll bar, so it must have been up under a bit of strain, and it was tight before the event because we did check it. So we'll put some red Loctite on that now, so that shouldn't be coming any loose anytime soon. But no, through the rally, Steve mentioned again this time that it like the exhaust notes sound a bit flat. So now we're sort of diving into it full on this time. We're doing sort of like a timing belt change, and because since I've owned the car, I've never put one on. And the guy that I bought it from said he'd just done one, so that's kind of why I've not bothered. Since I've owned the car, I've probably only done 2,000 miles in it over sort of 10 years that I've owned it. It's 10 years gone. It's 10 years gone. So this is the big sort of refresh that it's had since I built it. So it's quite nice that everything's all new again. And just peace of mind, get the cam belt on it and time it up again. So we have found, I think it's out of time by quite a lot on the ignition side of things. So yeah, we'll investigate that. So I'll put a new timing belt on it and then time it back up. So I think it'll be sounding a bit more crisp. And also, we've got quite a big upgrade coming. So with the Honda Civics, the gear kit in them is very long from second to third, and I have struggled on rallies. Not, you know, in the world of rallying, you need to get from one corner to the next, or one roundabout to the next, as this last weekend showed us, as fast as possible. So top speed doesn't really matter. So I didn't use fifth gear at all this last weekend. It was top end in fourth, which is over 100 mile an hour anyway. So I've ordered a gear kit from America. There is gear kits and stuff that you can get from Quaife, and there's Teguer, they do M Factory and all that sort of stuff. So I've gone with a more budget friendly. Well, I think it's more budget friendly. So that should be arriving soon. I've been speaking to the really good company. It's called HPT Autosport in America. They're in New York State. I'll put the link in the description for you. That's who I've ordered from, and it's an Irish Tarmac Rally Kit, so it's the official title of the kit that I've got. So it is on the way, and I think they're going to ship it on Monday, and it's now Sunday, so hopefully, with a bit of luck, within a few days it'll be landed in the UK and on its way to me. I have paid for express shipping, which I think might even be a 24-hour sort of thing, so hopefully we'll get that in, and then I've got a funny feeling it's going to absolutely transform the car. Not a lot of people rally Hondas in the world of rallying. There is obviously a lot more in Ireland because you get this Irish Tarmac Cup that they do, but I think this is going to make a massive difference. So in effectively fifth gear will be the top of fourth, what it is now, so it'll be about 105 or something like that top speed, which is perfect for what we need, because we're never going to be going over 100 and something mile an hour in rallying anyway, and when you do, these tend to put a chicane in the way for you to slow the average speed down, because the average speed on a rally stage is not allowed to exceed over 70 mile an hour average speed. So you get what's called a bogey time, and if anybody beats the bogey time, you get the bogey time anyway. So it just means that acceleration on rondo will be a bit nicer, so we will have a play with that. And so there's gearboxes to come out, so that's kind of a next big fix. I think we've been ticking off stuff. Well, I've done a bit of work on the car these last few days, and swapped the rear hub, like I say, sorted that anti-roll bar out, put the window and stuff back in, so there's only a few minimal sort of jobs to do. But this is quite a big one, you know, we need to get the gearbox out, and it'll be a nice big upgrade. So we will see. So I've always struggled with that longer gears all the time that I've been rallying. And then you know, I've seen some of you have maybe seen the footage from this last weekend. You get a Renault Clio in front of you, which is roughly about the same brake horsepower. Ends up just pulling away because they've got a gear kit in them. Pretty frustrating to me, anyway. Especially when, you know, if she has been out of timing as well, she'll be down on power. Hopefully we'll be a bit more competitive, which is what it's all about, isn't it? So we haven't gone for, you know, crazy engine build or stuff like that. I've just kept it reliable, completely standard engine, and so we'll just go with gear kit and see what we can do with that first. So, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this last weekend. Thank you again for Steve for servicing, and Mr. Phil on the old barbecue there. I don't know if some of you have seen with Howard Davies on the video online. It's quite a funny little moment on there. But yeah, we're very looking forward to going to Mull now, so it'd be nice just to get these last bits done, get some seat time, just drive around and, you know, whatnot, get some more seat time in there, and but yeah, so hopefully she'll work well on the island. But yeah, I think that's about it really. So I've really enjoyed this last weekend. You know, like I say, it's been a while since we actually got out in the car before. No, but we're super happy with the result that we got this weekend. So I got 5th in class, and then got into the top 30, so 30th overall. Started at car 65. So pretty good result really, to be fair, from all the actual cars that were out competing against. The top 5.
Yeah, we had about, I think it was 30 retirements.
Yeah, there was about a lot of retirements, wasn't there? Yeah, a lot of people hit curbs and all sorts, haven't they? But I think the cars in front of us, the 4 cars that were in front, one was a Darien, I think was in top 10, 1600 car, and then there was an M Sport Fiesta on flat shift, and then there was a Peugeot Maxi 106 Rally, that was on flat shift as well, and then there was a 106 Cup Kit as well. That was quite a weapon. I think the guy goes out quite a lot. So seat time is key in the world of rallying, and so yeah, mega chuffed to come on with 5th. You know, that's the best we can get with a spec car. I'm not blaming the car. You know, I need to probably drive faster as well. But you know, I think the time slipped when you actually look at them. I think it's minutes in it for me to 4th place. So yeah, it's nice to get out and compete. Anyway, so but it's just nice to get in the top half of the class rather than being down at the bottom. So, like I say, hopefully with these next upgrades we'll be a bit more competitive, but we don't know until we start, do we? So, anyway, mega enjoyable weekend. Nice to get out and do again. So fingers crossed, these upgrades do help us quite a bit, and then we'll see where we are end of stage 1 on Mull, I suppose. It's the only time that you can actually tell whether it's going to work or not. So, not to get too giddy with it as well. So, obviously, when you start Mull Rally, there is so many people that go out on that first stage. There's cars in ditches, there's cars in walls, there's cars in hedges, trying to aim for the locks, and yeah, I don't want to be one of them. So, we just need to keep a cool head on that first stage. I'm sure Katie, so got Katie Master sat in on this first time I've ever had Katie sat in, so she's come to sit in on Mull with us, so I'm sure she'll keep us in check. But yeah, for now we're just literally sitting and waiting and wait for parts to arrive, and I think timing belt kit arrives on Tuesday this next week, and then I've got like gaskets and stuff to put in, and I'll have a look at a main seal as well to put in. So yeah, fingers crossed, all parts will be here soon and we'll be able to crack on. So it is a Tuesday and it's about 1:30 in the afternoon. Rhonda's out of Steve's garage. Steve doesn't know quite yet, but the floor's looking a bit worse for wear. So got some baldy patches and stuff on it. So we're going to give it a bit of a spruce up for him. We don't really know yet, he's at work. So hopefully he'll come back tonight to a nice new shiny floor. I'm going to paint it. So Rhonda's outside. Look at her in sunlight. Good girl. But yeah, going to scratch off all the flaky bits and give her a spruce up. So I'll give you a bit of a before and after. I'll spin this camera around. So this is the outside curb. Did have some paint on it at one point. And then yeah, we'll give her a bit of a sweep up. I've put everything on the bench over there. I'm not going to move toolbox or fridge just yet. You know, we can soon move them out and paint underneath when we need to. And then there's loads of stuff under here, but I don't know what Steve wants to do with it, so I just left that for him to sort out. But I'll just paint across front at workbench and then, yeah. But like I say, scratched off all these flaky bits outside, all the paint was chipped up, so right, let's get on the big brush. So there we have it. I've kept this cable plugged in because Steve's van's on the drive and it's got fridges and stuff. But just gone around with a damp cloth, got rid of everything, all dust, and just about to start down here. So this is what we've got, a bit of grey, and Paint Mixer 1000 is the old fire extinguisher jets. Happy days, all mod cons here, isn't it? Let's do. Well, it's so far so good, the old painting. So this was a different colour grey, so I just went around and cut in and painted the bottom block so it looked a bit nicer, but hey, looking alright, isn't she? You know, from compared to what it was to what she is now. Happy days. It just makes the walls a bit dirty now, that's all. I did contemplate on painting this completely grey as well, but that's up to Steve. If there's any paint left, they can do that, can't they? But we'll just get this last bit done. Happy days. And there we have it. All nice new shiny floor. Jobs are good, and I've just shut that big door to try and stop any wind blustering any dust underneath it, but Steve's van's still plugged in there. Happy days. Lights off, door shut, let it dry for 24 hours. I think 24 hours anyway. Look at the tin. What does Mr. Tin say? Where have I put it now? Down here. Drying time. Recoatable. The coating is fully cured in 7 days. Well, it should be right after a while, won't it? Grand job. And there we have it. Look at that. Belting. All nice and dry. A few days later now. So, there is a few dry spots. This is where the concrete was bare, so if you ask me, it needs another coat on there. On them little bits anyway, but it's sort of like the main walkway where you walk in and maybe where wheels start and stop. And on this side as well, there's a few bare patches there. I think that is literally where wheels come in and go out, but because the rest of it is sealed really nice. So I think, yeah, just needs a little bit more when nothing's coming in and out. But this garage is very much in use this week. We've got a a few bits to do on Rhonda, and so we'll get her back in a second. And then we've got a bit of a car to fix for Mr. Phil. So there's a wing and a bumper to put on his Golf out here. So I just brought them from Mr. Phil's house. So yeah, right, so I've got a little short job list of stuff to do with Rhonda. Stuff like put the main beam headlights, the lamp pod on the main beam headlights. And then there's the driver's window that needs adjusting because it keeps popping out. Then little bits like that really. There's obviously that front corner that we knocked on the last stage. Just need to check that stuff, do a spanner check on her. But I'll start off right now, I'm going to give her a wash. So, yeah, let's go. There we go, and there we have it. All nicely back on, looking good. Job is a good one. Next. So, next on the list is the front corner lights are looking a bit sort of waffy, to say the least. So we're just tightening them up, or we're getting rid of China bolts, nuts and bolts that are on there. So they're not very good, so we're actually replacing them with some new sort of N8s, and then we'll get them on there. So I'll just show you what I'm on. I've done this one at this side. That's all nice and tight now and positioned where we need it. This is what I'm on with. So in here there's like a little nut, and then this little channel here, there's one that spins. So it is really bad design. It's not good. So I'm just getting rid of nuts and bolts and stuff out of there, and then as you can see, look how loose it is. So just do that, get rid of this. Not the easiest thing to do with one hand, but that's literally all that's holding it on. So we're gonna get rid of that. Doing that, this is what I've come up with. So to get the right width, just ground down a normal M8 bolt and slide her in, and just like that, there we have it. Got the corner on there, and as is that one, a lot stronger than it was before, and that one, happy days. So let's go to the job list, grab our pen, there you go, tighten and direct front corner lights. There we go. Now then everybody, it's a new day. So we are cracking on with other bits on Rhonda, and thought this weekend at the rally she'd been running a bit flat. Steve and Mr. Phil thought the same. A bit of a different sort of engine note. So we've started sort of diving into it. So let's just have a look at this. Where's the list gone outside now? So there's not loads to do at the moment. I am currently in the middle of changing the rear wheel bearing at the back there, and then started thinking about timing on the engine. So we had a bit of a bump on Valkyrie 2019, straight into the trees. So I don't know whether the cam timing's changed. So I've got one of these. So here we are. Here we are. In the engine bay. So we took the air filter off. Thought that might be restricting it a little bit. But it seems to be, you know, not really that restrictive really. I'll just put this back in the zone where it lives so I don't lose it. So we will try a run without the air filter just to see what happens. But we've got this all hooked up at the moment. Timing light S8000. So that's going to help my life. Got it on the starter motor, on the earth. Plug number 1. And then just looking down here. So I don't know if you can see. Might be better with like a torch in life, but we'll struggle. So there's a little pointer here, and then there's 3 little marks on the actual crank pulley down there, and then one later top dead centre. So it's supposed to be in the middle of the 3rd mark on that crank pulley. And so I put a timing light on it, and consulting the Bible that is Haynes manual, just I'm talking a little, just reading up about ignition timing and stuff. It tells you there, there's 3 marks on the crank pulley. I spoke to various Honda master techs as well. Mr. Whitton, what a legend. He knows everything about Hondas because he's worked at Honda for God knows how long. He's now in charge of Groville, so knows his stuff. Got in touch with a few other people as well that have also got B16 engines, just to find out where the marker pointer is for top dead centre on the actual engine block or the plastic casings. You know, once it's all built up, you need to know where your ignition marks are supposed to be. So I've ordered a new timing belt for it, new tensioner, or a new water pump, and a new alternator, 2 new alternator belts, 1 spare because looking a bit old, and whilst you're in there I may as well. And then I'll also need to order a cam cover gasket because that'll leak once I've opened that up, won't it? I've just put the timing light on it, and it's supposed to be, let me just show you this, so for better illustration purposes. Right, so this is what the pulley looks like. That's the alternator belt, that's the power steering belt, and then this one's maybe an aircon one, that's got rid of that. So there's a red marker in the middle of those 3 dots. This is top dead centre marker, and then this marker here, so that should be in the middle. And at the moment, so say the marker's here, it's way off, but I'm just looking at that. I think that's the pointer when all the plastic covers are off on the engine block, so I don't really know just yet. So, but there is a marker sort of like at this position, and it's absolutely way off. So we will stick a new cam belt on it, time it up to top dead centre and all the rest of it, and then we've even got one of these fancy little gadgets that locks the cams, so you can't get this wrong. I'm going to touch wood just in case I did get it wrong. But this is like a cam locker, so can you see there the teeth there? So you put that, you set your lines on your 2 cam pulleys into the middle, job done. Then it should be at top dead centre. If it skipped a tooth, then once I've got all the covers off, it will tell me that it's skipped a tooth, and I'll be able to reset it and put it back. Not unheard of in the world of rallying and crashing into trees like I did in 19. That was a big hit, so much so it popped the back window, so it might have slackened the belt and skipped a tooth and then tensioned itself back up again. I don't know. So until I actually dig into that, we're not going to know. But I've got a funny feeling, touch wood, she's going to be singing a damn sight nicer after I've done that and got it all timed up, because like I said, it's on the distributor still, so that could have moved as well. So once I get a new cam belt on it, I'll time it up again and we should be right. So at the moment though, let's get this new rear wheel bearing on and go from there. So here we have the weapons of choice. So this has got a little bit of surface rust on it. It is brand new. I know it looks like a proper rusty thing, but it has been living in my shed. We've listened to the bearing there. I can still hear the grease squidging about. I did buy 2 of these. I put one on the other side a while ago, and this is the old one. You listen. The bearings are done in it. So what we do is I've undone the jobby, that thing, and just give this a little tap, and she slides right off like that. It's got a collet in there. I will keep this just in case we need one for, yeah, the bearings are a bit rough in there, so I will, like I say, I will keep it just in case we need a spare. But what I'm going to do is clean this up, tiny bit of new grease on it, clean up round here with a wire wheel, wire brush even, stick the new one on, job's a good one.
Like that, what?
Winner! So another job on the list was some anti-roll bar Loctite, and then paint the tow hook red. So that's all done. Next, courtesy of Steve.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! And this is what I've used. It's a red Loctite, so they won't be coming off again. Happy days.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.